Yo. Right, the reality of me jumping on just out of nowhere because I was laying on my couch here and I was just doing some tapping because I could feel I had some weird energy shit happening in my body. So I was like, what the fuck is this? One of my neighbours doing some work on the house. You could hear the So I decided to lay down and just start tapping through the points without any idea what I was even tapping on. And I just started tapping on the feeling and breathing and just with the intention of bringing my nervous system to a place of calm. So as I was tapping, I began to realize that, well, a message came through, and the message was, sometimes the hardest thing for us to accept is that there is nothing that we can do. That there is nothing that we need to do. You know? So, for example, say you're doing a lot of physical training and you've got a goal in mind about how you want your body to look. This could work for money or anything. So if with money, it could be you're launching something and you've got a specific financial goal or a certain number of people in mind. And there can be this very human need in us to be like, right, I need to do something. I need to do something right now. And sometimes the hardest thing is actually for us to just lean back and let the universe do its part. And I'm sure that this isn't new to any of you. You've probably heard me talk about this 100 times before. But the way that I just felt it just wave through my body as I was laying on the couch tapping away, I hadn't even realized that there was a part of me that was like, I should be doing something. I didn't even realize that that's what the sensation was in my body. I could just feel that there was some sense of dis-ease happening. And when I started tapping and just breathing with the intention of calming my nervous system, I received the message, you know. Sometimes the hardest thing for us to acknowledge is that there is nothing that we can do, that there is nothing to do, that there is no step in the physical realm for us to take in this moment. And sometimes to take a step, to do a thing in 3D reality, in our humanness, when there is nothing to proactively be doing, when there isn't anything, sometimes pushing ourselves into the doing of the things just to kind of ease the human mind keeps us out of receiving the manifestation quicker. So that's really what I came on to speak to you about. Hey, Mandy Moo. Nice to see you. I feel like something going on with my lip. It looks like I've had fillers. What's going on there? I don't know what's happened. Maybe I've bitten it or something. I just like, as I'm speaking, I'm like, oh, weird like thing happening here. I look like I've had I haven't. I'm just naturally voluptuous. So yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say about that. It was just a message that came to me then in a very felt sense of that being a truth. And really, in those moments in between, we have that choice about how we view it and how we view ourselves in those moments. And often the need to do, rather than just like meditating or having a nap or going for a nice walk or relaxing, we'll kind of flick on the TV or scroll through social media because somehow that sends a message to our brain that we're both resting and doing something at the same time. And actually all we're doing is kind of like dissociating from our body and dissociating from maybe a feeling of discomfort with the nothing. And as a manifesting generator, the nothing, as I have said many a time in many different ways and many different platforms, the nothing has been a journey of learning for me, and it's been difficult, but I'm getting so much better at existing or not existing in that nothing space, in that void, in the empty room, the space in between. We don't always have to be doing something. sometimes the best thing that we can quote unquote do is to just be still and silent and just allow the world and the universe to deliver to us. We don't always have to be out going and getting the things. In fact, we rarely have to be out going and getting the things. Even creativity, even our urges to do are more aligned, more balanced, more harmonious to our nervous system, and more fruitful in terms of the rewards that we reap when we've allowed ourselves that space to actually drop into the body and feel. And sometimes we need to speak it through if you're like a self-projected person in human design. But really, the felt sense in the body, that calmness for all of us, it's such an important part of the process. So, and it's interesting actually, Mandy saying like, I'm a doer, like identifying with being a doer. That's one of the things we're looking at like in the Paradigm of Power Masterclass. This idea that if you identify with being a doer, and if other people have identified you as being a doer, and somehow because of that, you've been able to feel safe, feel like money will always come in, feel like people will always need you because you're a doer. So people will turn to you like, oh, I don't know what to do here. Mandy will know, or like Georgina will know, right? It's like if we are no longer serving, if we're no longer playing into that role and that identity, that story about being a doer, and we release all of the things we've attached to that, like our worth, how people will value us, that it keeps us safe in our relationships, that it makes us feel like we have some control in a world where so many things feel outside of our control. It gives us a sense of power. We also looked in the Paradigm of Power yesterday at the relationship between control and power, you know, and that was a really interesting part of the conversation that we had yesterday. So I like to identify with being a doer is to trap yourself in the role of being a doer. And therefore, how else can I identify? It's not saying that you will never be a doer ever again, or that isn't part of who you are, but like, what else am I? Yeah, I'm a doer. Yeah, I'm can do. Yeah, I'm a powerhouse. Yeah, I'm a badass. Yeah, I'm fucking ferocious bitch. But I'm also a soft heart. I also have an inner child. I also have desires, and I also have wants and needs, and and a wish to be fulfilled and satisfied in life. I also am somebody who loves rest. I'm also somebody who loves to have enough financial freedom and stability and security to be incredibly generous with my time and my money. Like, who else am I? And start to play in the realm of that, because when we over-identify with any of these identities, I'm a doer, I'm a can-do person, I'll get that done for you, I'm a solution-focused person, all of these identities really, as much as I'm very, very much somebody who plays with identity, because my defined G-center in human design, like that to me, playing with identity and understanding what I have tied into an identity is a big part of my growth. Because as soon as I realize like, oh, I wish to embody more of the athlete, the high-end coach, whatever, the sweet hot lover, whatever it is, why not? When I realize that identity in and of itself is going to have, in my mind already, I've got like, there's the identity, and here's all of the qualities that subconsciously I've decided are attached to that identity. So if I look at the athlete, for example, I'm wanting to embody the frequency of the athlete, and without even consciously deciding, my subconscious mind has already programmed in, oh, that means you train like this, and you eat like this, and you hydrate like this, and you take care of yourself like this, and you prioritize this, you say no to this, you do this, you wear this, your body looks like this. And that's really fucking powerful, and it can be very, very positive. But we must also be aware of, what is the flip side of that? what is the flip side of my perception of, in this example, the athlete? Oh, like as a female, I have boobans, and I like my boobans, and I like my hips and my bum bum. And in my mind, when I think athlete, I think like ripped stomach, flat, broad shoulders, like no boobs, all that kind of stuff, and like massive, like thick, muscular thighs, quite like driven, focused, quite serious. Now, I don't necessarily want all of those qualities. So that's the downside of over-identifying with any identity and not being conscious about the decisions that we've made or the hats that we've put on. To go into and adopt any identity without really being aware of, like, I always talk to my clients about the two sides of the coin, right? There's like the light and the dark, the light and the shadow, the positive, the negative, the yin, the yang, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be like, right, yes, so the light of the athlete is but we've also got what's in the shadow, all of this stuff. So be mindful that you get to pick and choose the aspects of that identity. And there will also be identities that you negatively, initially, like consciously negatively identify with. So for example, with money, you might think, oh, I don't want to be like one of those fucking rich bitch coaches or whatever, I don't know. It's pulling it out my ass. Like a rich bitch coach who's like fucking, charges this much and she's so inaccessible. People can't afford her. I can never afford her. Who does she think she is? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, okay, cool. Well, then in that case, you're never going to be someone who's able to charge that much for your work. You're never going to be somebody who's able to have that reach or have that impact or have that, that visibility or that lifestyle, because you're literally saying anyone who is that or has that is bad. You're forgetting the fact that that person probably has been through a fuck ton of stuff in their life to carve out the person they are. You're also forgetting about the fact that that person might make a fuck ton of money and be really motherfucking generous with the surplus. They might really take good care of themselves and their clients in a way that maybe you're not actually accustomed to because you've never invested at that level before. And maybe that's what's triggering, right? So when we give ourselves permission to play in the realm of identity and assume different identities and embody the frequency, we'll very quickly start to notice, if we're conscious enough and if we're not lazy with our thoughts, because lazy thinking is a thing. Otherwise, we'd have to wake up every day and relearn how to tie our shoes. Our brain goes, yep, that's the thing. Okay, cool. Brrr, all these bits of information, lovely, locked away. Let's put that in the body and store that forever. So it's really important when doing this kind of identity upgrade work that we look at the positive, if you like, and the negative, although I don't really believe in positive and negative, but anyway, for, to keep things simple. And really just being aware of, like, yes, I really want to be this thing, but that also means that if I'm not conscious about it, I'm inviting in these things as well. You must be aware of those things, because then you can choose which pieces of that identity you wish to embody and which pieces you get to go, actually, that doesn't really work for me. Like, yeah, I really want to have the ability to choose the food that's going to support my training. I want to rest and take care of my body, and I want to train like an athlete, and I want to have the stamina and the physical fitness that I've attached to the identity of the athlete. But I'd also like to keep some boob, and I'd like to have my butt and some curves, because that really feels good to me and that's the way I want my body to look. So when I've unconsciously attached to the athlete before, that was something I hadn't realized that I'd actually attached, because all of a sudden my boobs just started to go and I was like, oh, I don't want that. So I put loads of weight back on and I was like, oh, but I don't want that either. Hang on a minute. Why not have both? Why not have boobs and a butt and some juicy ass curves, but still like lean in the places that I desire to be lean? And we just pick up all these beliefs about people. We just absorb things from the media or from our own perceptions or from our family's perceptions that we didn't even realize we had until we start on this growth journey. So when you're playing in the realm of identity, it's really fun. And I find it really like a quick, easy way to like quantum fucking leap in change. And, you know, that is one of the tools I use the most often personally. But just be mindful, just be conscious, be aware which elements of this identity really feel good for me and which ones don't. And on the flip side of that, if you're over identifying someone else or a specific identity with lots of negative traits, but there's something about that. If something is so triggering to you and you've got only bad things to say about something, that's worth looking at, because there's something there for you. If someone appears to be arrogant, self-serving, I don't know, like just like a taker, never gives anything, cool. So maybe you're so resistant to taking or so resistant to being perceived as being self-serving or selfish that you overgive and completely fuck yourself energetically, right? So or maybe like you look at someone who's arrogant, and because you perceive arrogance in a certain way, you underplay your skills, you undervalue your work, you dumb yourself down because you don't want to allow yourself to be the full embodiment of your confidence. How dare they? How dare they be so audacious to just stand there and say blah, blah, blah? How can they just stand there and do that? Who do they think they are? Well, actually, who do you think they are? Who do you perceive them to be? And then do the work there. Take the trigger to the fucking mirror and do the work on yourself, and you will grow so quickly. You won't even know what's happened. You'll just be like, poof, oh fuck, I'm just that person that I said I wanted to be. How the fuck did that happen? Oh, it happened because I put the fucking work in, right? And when I talk about putting the work in, I mean this work and this work, not like all the marketing and all the things that we think we have to do and all the crazy like do. I'm talking about the inner fucking work. When you put that work in and you put the consciousness work in and the constant ability to check your thoughts and your assumptions, and you stop being a lazy thinker, shit happens real fast. Real fast. I just start studying HD. I'm finding it's actually helping me to slow down. Yep. It's interesting. Good. I'm glad that's Thinky Face interesting, Mandy Moo. So that's it. That's it from me. If you guys want to join us in the new paradigm of power, it's still happening. I went live yesterday for the first time and it was, excuse me, burping just thinking about it. It was amazing. And then we're doing a clearing session next week. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning. Your daily reminder, your daily soul smackdown from the curly person in the UK. So just scratching my thigh. It looks like I'm scratching my ass cheek, but I'm actually just scratching my thigh. Hello. TMI. So yeah, if you want to join us in that, that's there. I've still got some one-to-one spots available in October. If one of them is yours, let me know. Let's do the thing. Let's make some fucking money. Let's make you feel amazing. Let's drop your ass back into alignment so quick that your life speeds up like this and suddenly all the magical things are fucking happening like poof. Let's do it. Why are you waiting? In fact, don't even answer that because you'll give yourself loads of reason. Just do the thing. I'll see you in my inbox. Bye.